You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Hello and welcome. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. We're so excited to have you here. This is a fabulous show that just makes you feel good. It's in the name of love. My co-host is joining us today, and her name is Kimmy Seltzer. Welcome, Kimmy. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. It's always nice to see you and
You
to
too.
talk about all things related to love.
Right. I mean, that's why in the name of love, the show is so happy. And I love this conversation and the show that we've been doing so far.
I do too. We have a fabulous guest who's joining us today. She's backstage, but she's actually joining, I believe, from the UK. It's very late there. So
Oh my gosh.
I think it's after midnight there. So I'm really excited to have her with us today. Before we bring her out, why don't you just tell us a little bit about what Kimmy is up to?
I am up to a lot. I'm actually really excited. I'm working on a master class that's coming up May 17th, and it's all about how to create chemistry. But what's really exciting me about this class, I have a lot of programs for men and women, and I've been separating the programs, just doing ones for men, just doing ones for women. And I'm putting the boys and the girls in the room together, and we are going to have a class all together. I did a flirt class. Oh gosh, I want to say about a month and a half ago. And it was amazing. It was so good to just have everybody in the room and debunk myths about love and dating and relating and even mating. So yeah, that's what I'm up to.
That's fantastic. And just for folks who are on the radio, I'm streaming your banner. So we're live streaming on Business Talk Radio as well as social media. But where can people reach you, Kimmy?
Yeah, I mean, the easiest is to go to my website, kimmyseltzer.com. As you can see down below, all my social media handles are at Kimmy Seltzer. You can also find me on my own podcast. It's called The Charisma Quotient. And you can find that on all the stations that you listen to your podcast with. And if anyone has a question directly, I know we don't always have time for live questions. You can go to askkimmy.com and ask me any kind of dating and style questions that you might have.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And I want to let our audience know I'm very excited because I work with Business Talk Radio for a couple of hours. And this thing that's called a phone, we're able to take calls through this computer and this board that we have. So if you want to call us, I'm sure Bobbi would love to have calls as well. Our number is 609 961 1699. And that, of course, is if you're in the States. I'm looking for our banner. But we'd love to hear from you. Also, we'd love to hear from you on social media. We are on 4 Facebook pages, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch TV. So this show is a lot of fun with engagement as well. Let's bring Bobbi out. Bobbi, welcome.
Hi, Bobbi.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Here in the UK, it's just gone midnight, but I'm so happy and grateful to be here with everyone and speaking about love.
You look bright and cheery for it being like midnight over there.
So I have a question because I've been working with a number of people from the UK, people in Europe, other time zones. Does anybody sleep in the UK? Because it seems to me if you go into Clubhouse, people from the UK, they're up all night. They're in the wee hours of the morning. What's going on with that, Bobbi?
I think that's true. In the UK, they do sleep. I don't think they sleep. They work and they hustle all the time. But I'm actually into a lot of health. So I'm I've got a big sleeping routine, a huge list of healthy habits to put myself to sleep. So this is quite late for me personally. Usually I'll be sound asleep in deep sleep. But today I think it's worth just speaking to everyone. Is it in America? Is that where you are?
Yes.
That's great. That's amazing because I have lots of tips about self-love, how to feel amazing and great. Sleep is one of the biggest ones. So yeah, I think people should sleep more.
I'm looking at your skin. You have beautiful skin and your hair is glowing. Obviously, you're getting the right amount of rest and drinking water. And we've got a comment from Philip Chan. His
Philip.
bedtime is 4 a.m.
I
Oh my
know.
God, 4 a.m.
I lecture him all the time about his health because it's going to catch up on him. You know, sleep is priority. That's when your body is trying to recover. And if you're not kind to yourself, your body will not be kind to you either. So I'm very big on water, on sleep, on eating, on chemical-free products, everything that can make you feel good inside and out. So your skin is the symptom. You know, your skin is the biggest organ. It's trying to tell you a story. And if you're healthy, you're feeling good, you're doing something right. So that's what I'm here to do. Lots of self-love and to spread love to others as well.
Bobbi, I love that you were talking about sleep. And I just had a conversation with one of my clients about this. So, I work with a lot of singles, and really, like, when you have a lack of sleep, you do not have energy to date either. And so one of my clients, oh my gosh, she has this apartment building where a nightclub just like got into the building. And so now she is awoken every single night at 2 a.m. by like loud pounding music, and it's really impacting her dating life. So, I mean, obviously, like, the regime and routine and all that kind of jazz is super important. But in stuff like that, like, do you have any tips for people who have like a disruption in their environment and what they can do to still help their sleep?
Earbuds as well. Earbuds in their ears. Meditation. No one can wake me up, even in noise. I will sleep like a baby. I'm a very strong sleeper. Unfortunately, some people need it completely dark, completely silent, but I guess I'm immune to that. I can sleep on the floor, loud music, in a nightclub. I will still fall asleep.
Oh my God. You should have your own meditation tape to help you.
There's lots of meditation that I listen while I'm asleep, and it puts me into deep sleep. It's healing frequency, so that I'm healing at the same time. It could be a toothache. I'll put in a dental healing frequency. And if anyone knows about tooth pains and toothaches, it's one of the most painful things. You cannot sleep. You're in agony. But these healing frequencies, I can fall asleep. And if someone switched off my phone, I wake up again in pain. So that's how crazy the frequencies are.
I totally believe that, what you're saying. I'm also a meditation teacher, and we have an affiliation with a company called Listening to Smile, and they produce frequency mind-based music. So it's interesting. But I'd like to get a little bit into who is Bobbi. We've got some beautiful photos of you, but before I show them, I'm going to spotlight you. Why don't you tell us a little bit about you? You talked about health and wellness. We want to hear more.
That's right. So not long ago, 4 years ago, I didn't look after myself. I had 4 children, so I'm a mother of 4. I lacked sleep, like I was telling you about. I wasn't looking after myself very well. I had acne on my jawline, and that was telling me something. I think mentally, I was really struggling, and I was hit with depression. My husband left me. I was split up with my child. That was a lot of agony and pain 4 years ago. And that's when my journey started to heal and to recognize what is truly self-love and start looking after myself, with my skin, whether going to the gym. I lost 13 kilos and I started this health journey, because if you're healthier, most likely you're going to be happier. Mentally, your gut, everything starts from the gut as well. So I was eating better, exercising a lot now lately, the serotonin boost. And, I met a lot of people who was helping me, advise me on health. So before, I had no friends who knew much about health. I didn't have much of a healthy influence. I was so lucky to meet people who introduced me to the best drinking water, to fasting, to all sorts of health advice that I took and changed. And I think life's journey is, if you don't listen, you don't learn, you will suffer. I don't like to suffer. I don't like pain. So I listen and I change. I suffered with diabetes, stress. Then I found lots of different supplements to help my body. And then ultimately you feel great. You vibrate on a higher level. You're happier, you're more joyful, and you attract more of what you want. You might attract you manifest the partner that you actually put in your mind. So that's really important.
Brilliant. Thank you for sharing all of that. I'm wondering if you can take us back. You talked about the things that happened to you and the fact that you weren't healthy and taking care of yourself. But do you remember that exact moment when you took the first step?
The self-love.
Yes.
I was in a lot of tears and I wanted someone else to love me. And it was Will Smith. He says, I quit making my wife happy. It is not my responsibility to make you happy. It is your own responsibility to make you happy. And that hit me hard. I was like, whoa, that's my responsibility. No one owes me anything. No one's supposed to do anything for me. I'm supposed to look after myself. I should love myself so much. I should never, ever hurt myself ever again. And that includes if I'm eating foods, it's either helping me or harming me. So if I love myself that much, and also there's a lot of people in this world who might actually trigger you, wind you up, make you upset, lower your vibrations. But if you allow them to, that's your fault and your responsibility. And I know it's so harmful to go under so much stress over other people. And if you love yourself that much and you know how damaging stress is to the body, you love yourself that much, you will not stress. And then your vibrations arise, you give them love, you bless them, you be grateful for the teachers in life, the enemies, the people who maybe gave up on you. I am the strongest I've ever been in my life. And I have to thank everybody on my path, on my journey, that I've become as strong and as happy as I am now. And my aim is to spread that positivity and hope that other people become powerful and have full control of their own mind.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
I have a question, because your story is so beautiful, and how you kind of lifted yourself up when you were down. Because I have a similar journey, and I know, we talk about our own stories are always like kind of our teachers, right? Like that's what kind of thrusts us into doing what we do and empower others. And for you, I wondered, because I see this a lot with my clients, like when you were in that kind of state of, falling down, how did you pick yourself up? Because in theory, like we always hear, oh, just self-love. Like we know in our heads what we need to do, but what would you say to someone who is having a hard time just taking that first step? It's harder to move than it is to think.
So originally it come from self-harm. Self-harm came to me first before I had self-love. And I think I did something quite silly where I had really upset my parents because of the self-harm that I had done. And that moment I realized, if I was in my parents' shoes, how would I look at myself? And I was, really disappointed in myself. So it was actually my parents' love that I saw that healed me. I was like, no one loves me as much as my mom and dad, not even myself. And I didn't want to hurt them anymore. So I said, I've got to look after myself. I've got to love myself as if I was my own parent. If I saw myself do the silly things that I did in the past, such as self-harm. But I was also very lucky too that I come across a psychiatrist who became my best friend. And he taught me a lot about mental health. And that's where my knowledge started. And obviously it was the spiritual journey that kind of I was attracted to. And I started seeing other people in pain. And all I wanted to do was help them. So if they were depressed, if they were split up from their families, I would be there. And I've been in their shoes, so I understand how it feels. By helping others, it started to help myself even more.
Oh, Dr. Jackie, we can't hear you.
Sorry. Question that for me is, so I'm not a parent, but as a parent, that has to be difficult, right? To put yourself first. And for people out there who are parents and they're thinking, I can't do that, what would you say to them?
There is a point when you're a parent and you do lack that self-love, the sleep, that you can't actually function that well, which is why I put my health first, because I never, ever want to get to that stage where I was out of control and where you didn't even put your kids first because you just didn't have any control over your own life. You were so dug deep into sorrow and depression, all the lower vibrations, and you forgot about the love of the kids. And most parents will really work as hard as they can, forget about all this. They cannot forget about the sadness at the end of the day, but they will actually suppress their sadness in order to be strong for their kids. But the truth is, anyone wants to see their parents happy, and it's vice versa. Any parents wants to see you happy. So it's about doing what you want in life and not suppressing yourself. Like for me, to express myself, to try to motivate others, is what makes me happy. So now that I'm happy with myself, I don't have to rely on someone else to give me that happiness, a partner or a mother, or to have some kind of validation that I'm an important person in this world, because I understand that I am enough and I am important. Is I'm lucky that I have my parents and their love, and I have loving kids. But not everyone has that in their situation, which is why I'm writing the book right now. It should be out as soon as possible, so that anyone who doesn't have that help, that person, that mother or psychiatrist as your best friend to help you, that the book will help you to lift yourself up from, you could be pretty low, because everything goes down before it goes up. So that's why I say you go down and then you hit a rock bottom, and then you just keep going up and up and up. And that's the journey. And everyone goes through the same journey. Hopefully that it's smoother, or I help people, lift people as fast as possible, because I don't like seeing people suffer. But sometimes suffer is an indication that your life is just about to turn around for the best. So don't look at it so negatively, but maybe in a positive way.
Fantastic. Bobbi, before we go to break, I want to put up some pictures of you. And if you can just, I'm going to keep you spotlighted. If you can just tell us a little bit about each of the images. We actually have 3 beautiful pictures. Here's the first one.
So I'm also a model. When I lost my 13 kilos of weight, I had a lot more confidence. I always liked being on TV in front of the camera since I was very young, but I actually was very shy. So I've come out with a lot of confidence, much better self-esteem. And here I'm in London. I think it's one of the parks in London, very beautiful. And and I want to pass on that confidence onto other women as well.
Yes, you definitely look confident. Beautiful. Let's go to the second one, please.
So this is a Chinese word, it's love. So that's my favorite word, which is amazing because this podcast is all about love. It's the most powerful thing. And here my image is more of an empress, where you have full control of your own mind. So that's what it represents. A very, very talented photographer as well that helps me take pictures.
Oh my gosh, I want that photographer.
Oh yes, she's very, very talented.
I want to look like that.
I love the way you're looking over your shoulder. It's kind of like a coy, but very confident.
Yeah,
her body language. Yeah.
We've got one more.
Oh yes, this is my most recent kind of like an entrepreneur businesswoman, because in my past I wasn't able to really rely on a partner to look after me. So in this one, it's kind of like, boss, I'm going to do this by myself. I'm not going to rely on anyone, and no one can stop me. And I've got that energy and the vibe to attract better opportunities, and just loads of confidence.
I love the plunging jacket. It's beautiful. And that takes a lot of confidence to wear that, for sure, right?
Well, in the modeling industry, most women are insecure, and including myself. However, you're not sorry for being who you are, and you're no lower or less than anyone else, and you don't compare yourself to anyone else, because that's when you feel quite sad, really. It's your journey, your life. No one should be comparing. No one's better than you at all. You are you, and you should always try to improve yourself and be happy that way.
Absolutely. We have a comment from Philip. I'll keep you up there while we read it. PAINS, plan again intelligently, new super life.
Oh, interesting. That's really interesting, Philip, because my book is actually similar to something like that. Every single day is a new day. The game starts again, and you have a score, a high score or a low score. And it doesn't matter how low or high your score is today. Tomorrow you try and beat that score, and you understand that you learned some lessons the day before. It may not have been your way, which is okay. It's fine. Okay, today didn't go well. What can I do better than yesterday? It could be sleep earlier. Most people have a problem. It's not waking up early. It's sleeping early, because once you have your 8 hours sleep, you're fine. You wake up, you're refreshed, you're recharged. Most people cannot actually get into a habit of sleeping on time and waking up restful and ready to hit the day. Or they're just night owls, and they just like to be up at night, and they need their 8 hours sleep. So pain. Every single day is something different. It could be yesterday you had loads of junk food and you call it a failure or a low score. Or tomorrow you've got a new strategy. You've got some way of making it better. It could be school runs. You're late for school runs every single morning. It's okay. It's fine to have a score, but tomorrow is the day you beat the score. You have to find some kind of strategy. Maybe someone can help you. Maybe you can outsource. Every single day is a new challenge. You wake up and you're like, it's a new level. It's a new day. You restart the whole game again every single day. You should wake up like excited to beat yesterday.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you. I love that. That is amazing. By the way, in case you're wondering, because the sun is setting, I have computer and so my green screen is covered in sun. It's all white. And so
Oh my God. I was wondering why you were like moving.
You're wondering what it is I am doing. So I'm half behind the green screen and half not. So we'll just ignore that. But we're going to take a commercial break. And when we come back, we have a lot more to talk about in the name of love. Stay with us. Located at 121 Haddon Avenue in Westmont, New Jersey, is Margie Cedrone, artisan jeweler. Margie's been in business for more than 30 years. She works with her clients to create custom pieces of jewelry to reflect their personality and help them make their own bold statement. Starting in the renowned Jewelers Row in Center City, Philadelphia in 1988, Margie works directly with her clients to develop one-of-a-kind pieces such as necklaces, engagement rings, wedding bands, unique watches and tennis bracelets, as well as a myriad of rings and earrings for everyone in your family. She also has worked directly with Dr. Jacalyn over the years, creating unique pieces of jewelry to reflect her personality. She does pearl stringing and repairs on site at 121 Haddon Avenue. Call or text Margie at 215-384-7155. Margie Cedrone Jewelry is open by appointment only. Make your own bold statement.
Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to Story Garden. Your host, Diane Boehm. I'm so happy to have you here today.
Diane Floyd Boehm tells wonderful stories that warm the heart, spark the imagination, and unite people and families across generations. For children, Diane's Harry the Camel connects with all of us who've ever wondered how different our lives might have been if only we'd been born something better, like a wonderful horse instead of an ordinary camel. In the end, we all learn along with Harry that there's nothing better than just being yourself. Diane's Little Girl in the Moon looks down on earthbound children and wonders if they know she's just like them. A story of love, home, and the bond between mother and daughter, its powerful theme that we're each of us different yet all of us the same plants a seed in children that promises to blossom within a loving and trusting grown-up. Diane's new biography, Rise, recounts the experiences of her grandmother, Ruby, to reveal the hidden strength of the human spirit. Ruby's story inspires all of us to become the best versions of ourselves. You'll find all of Diane's delightful books and much more at DianeFloydBoehm.com. Visit DianeFloydBoehm.com. That's DianeFloydBoehm.com.
You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Hello and welcome back to In the Name of Love with Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn. I'm here with my co-host Kimmy Seltzer and our guest Bobbi Hang. Bobbi is hanging on there, staying up so late to be on our programs. We really appreciate it. Before we went to the break, we saw 3 magnificent photos of you, and you also shared a little bit about your journey. When you think about self-care and self-love, it sounds like it starts with wellness. It starts with respecting yourself. Would you agree with that?
Yes. And I was lucky to have some people help me along that journey. So instead of I replaced it with we. And so illness became wellness. So that was very, very lucky. If you're not lucky enough, there may be books out there that can help you. I think they're very effective, or podcasts such as this one that you so happen. It's not a coincidence that you're listening to this podcast or this YouTube live or Facebook live. You know, someone's out there looking out for you and trying to give you some guidance along that path. Little bit like the picture earlier with me walking down that path. You have a path and you always get distracted, but there is always someone trying to help you, put you along the way. So I'm very thankful to be on this podcast with you, and just so grateful I could be sharing. And sharing is caring.
I just wanted to comment because, you know, I love that you talk about a we, like the collective we. It does take a village. It's so true. But I think you have to be able to see it. And what I mean by that is there are people who are mentors and willing to help you all along. But if you're not in that open space to receive it, that's when sometimes it gets hard, and when you feel in that victim mode and you're all alone. And what I love about your story is you chose to see those people, right? Like, and you took the outside of being that model, but you weren't feeling it on the inside, and you built yourself up so that it kind of started integrating between the two, which I so love that. And I feel like that is also an inspirational message for a lot of people, because I think, again, like either they're doing only outside work or they're doing only inside work. And I'm like you, I think it's all symbiotic in nature. So like, what are some, do you have any like beauty tips that you could share with us in ways of self-care? Because it's not speaking my language too. I love talking about it.
So water is so big. It's one of my biggest priorities. You got the water, sleep, breathing, stress management, then it's diet and exercise. But water came to me first because I didn't sleep very well. Only recently I have this ring, which is it's called an Aura ring. You might heard of that. It tracks my sleep, tracks how much deep sleep, it tracks how my workouts as well, and if I need to recover or I can go strong at the gym. And it looks at my HRV, my heart rate variability, to see I've recovered fully from my workout today. It'll tell me to rest tomorrow if you really want to repair and recover faster. It will give me tips as well. So technology comes in and give me tips of how to sleep earlier. It tells me to wind down at 6 o'clock. It will tell me to chill out, relax, so that you're not so stimulated before you go to bed. So sleep is huge. I've got books about it here behind me on how to sleep smarter, how to eat smarter. If I don't know the answers, I go towards a book or a YouTube channel or a podcast or an audiobook, anything that will educate me so that I become smarter and know more. I don't know anything, but I want to improve myself, and there must be a way. So I'm very lucky to have a new habit, which is reading. I used to never read, funny enough. I didn't like to read, and I found out and diagnosed by my psychiatrist doctor that I had ADHD. And I was like, it makes so much sense now. So that's why I'm very active as well. So exercise is really important. But actually, when I healed from depression, it was actually water that healed me, funny enough. So water is not equal. You have tap water, which is toxic. It's got lots of chemicals, safe enough for you to drink, but there's a lot of chemicals that will do long-term damage, and that will show up on your skin, and you will find out. And you might even gain weight because a lot of toxins is in the fat. So you might even gain weight. When I drank the water, it detoxified my body. I lost 13 kilos. I've kept it off. I now kind of fluctuate between 10 kilograms, basically. And then I learned so much about frequency and water. So this water was high frequency. It was full of love. And we can actually put love into that water as well. So as clean as possible, highest quality water you have possible, and we give our water love. Same as Dr. Otomoto, I think it was. They did an experiment about plants, and the kids were told to be abusive towards one plant, saying you're stupid, you're worthless, and then they changed to another set of plants, and they said, I love you, you're magnificent. And you can guess what happened to the one that was abused. It was wilted, almost dead, basically. And to plants that you gave love to, it was growing and flourishing. So it's a huge difference. And it's the same with children. It's the same with people. No one likes to be abused. And tap water, in my opinion, it's been forced down the pipes, pushed through. And unlike the springs, where it was charged by the rocks and nature, it had an electrical charge that gives us that healing energy. So that's a big difference. Something as simple as water healed my depression because I lack serotonin. You can do a few tests, like hormone tests, microbiome tests, and I realized that I was actually lacking serotonin in my gut. So that's why I was a little bit, whoa. So healing the food that you eat is going to make a huge difference. I even take some supplements as well, just to boost, tryptophan that helps increase your happy hormones. I dug deep and researched about dopamine and serotonin and endorphins, which is why I exercise. Most people don't want to, but I know the benefits. I know it's going to make me feel amazing after. It's not even just the weight loss. Having the weight loss is proof that you're taking care of yourself. So people crave a good body, feeling good. But if you look after yourself, you will automatically feel good. So beauty tips as well. My skincare is all natural, no chemicals. My foundation is powder. It's nothing more than that, basically.
Are you kidding me? I was going to ask you about
yeah.
I'm like, is that just the water? Like, I don't know the water you drink.
the powder, because it's not clogging up your skin.
Yeah,
you can breathe. It won't break out at all. So sometimes I don't even put foundation on for work, and I'm like, oops, I couldn't tell the difference. It's very slight different on my skin, very, very little bit of difference. It's very clear now, because what people do is they have a skin problem. Diet, eating deep fried food, not sleeping, that contributes. Could be hormonal. Then they smear loads of foundation, concealer all over their face, and thinking that's going to help make them feel better. And when it clogs up your skin, you break out even more acne, and then it makes them feel even worse. So I was going to say
it's kind of a metaphor for what you're talking about, even like the work that we do, right? Like if we just cover up things and we're not addressing it, right? Like we're just creating acne, everywhere, like in the way that we are, in the way our skin. So I like everything kind of is a metaphor for this.
And stress will give you pimples, which is why I will not let anyone stress me out, because I'm like, I care about my skin so much, I'm not going to stress over someone's opinion. So that's what's so powerful. If you really care about yourself, you won't allow, because if someone tries to get to you and wind you up for whatever reason, it could be jealousy. You never know what reason they're trying to wind you up. Maybe they're having a bad day. But if you don't let that water in, you won't sink your boat.
I like that expression. It's something that I noticed myself. Most of my life, I was really loving sugar, and
oh wow,
literally decades, I would have 5 little Reese's cups, the little peanut butter and chocolate. Every morning I would have them for years. Like I just get up and I start eating them, and I noticed as I got older that my skin changed, and I had like I don't know how to describe it, but like squiggly things that were in my skin. And when I stopped eating sugar, they went away. So I guess sugar. It's probably fat.
It's more likely the sugar, because a friend asked me about the skincare range that I sell, natural skincare, and I said you've got to actually look at the root cause. What's causing the pimples coming out? And it was sugar, pastries, and things like that, and bread as well. So I said you have to cut that out of your diet. So it's because there's no miracle cream like steroids that the doctors prescribe you, because that's just taking off the first layer. It's just like giving maybe like an antidepressant pill to a patient, but that's not the root cause of the problem. It could be your money problems, it could be your partner problems, and you have to sort that out. Then you won't have the symptom. The symptom's just telling you to change. And if you don't listen, you carry on. And the same with life. They keep giving you the same challenges and the same people, different enemies, same lesson needs to be learned. Once you've learned your lesson, the teacher disappears. So I don't take things too personally. I think people are really attached to people and situations and the past. Really, it's just a game. You're trying to learn a lesson. Once you know that you learned that lesson, you're to the next level. So that's why people feel, depressed, attached to people and places and problems as well. They're very attached to them. You let go. Maybe they're not even real. Maybe they're just an hallucination. It's just you and your mind at the end of the day.
That's very true. I was wondering, because your hair is so beautiful and so shiny and so long.
Quite long.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Beautiful. What tips do you have for us how to have beautiful, healthy, strong hair? I know it's eating again, but special food, avocados, I don't know.
Yeah, so I do love avocados. My daughters love avocados. We have like guacamole with lettuce instead of nachos. We have it with cucumber sticks as well, even on rice cake. So we have a lot of avocados. I actually don't use anything in my hair, funny enough. Kangen water is the water I was telling you about. It has another pH of 11.5 that we use to get rid of grease and oils. It can also wash off pesticides of your vegetables and fruits. Pesticides is a big no-no as well. That can really affect your health all over. So cutting the pesticides, buying organic, it's going to really help. And it's quite thick. I was born with quite a lot of hair, but I believe hair is actually your antennas. So it's a really strange story. The emperor in China, I think Genghis Khan, knew that the longer your hair, the more intelligent you become. So he ordered all the women to cut their hair into little bobs and bangs. And that was to help control them more so they don't become so smart. I could not believe that story. I was like, it makes total sense. And they knew this, years ago. They already knew the science behind of it. So now me and all my girls have super, super long hair, and I'll try not to cut it. I'll probably trim it, but after that, I don't want to cut it at all. 3 years, I think it is, that if you don't cut your hair, you might find some kind of inspiration from the universe or some kind of antenna. So that's why I leave my hair really, really long. But yeah, so they have a beauty water, which is a pH of 5.5 as well, that helps cleanse the hair. It's all natural, it's just water. Don't use any chemicals whatsoever. But a healthy diet is definitely going to help. Good quality water and lots of sleep.
Well, I am believing it. I am buying it because look at it's unbelievable.
She's a walking testament, right? I know. I knew there was a reason why I was growing my hair longer because as a blonde, I have to look smarter, right? So I have to.
Yeah.
Jackie, we have to keep getting our long hair to counteract the blonde effect. Another thing that I wanted to mention, and I'm noticing that we all have it on to enhance our beauty, is the color red. Like Dr. Jackie, you have the red lips, and then Bobbi and I have red on, a different shade. Oh, you have the red nails. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I love, because being an image consultant, I love like working with wardrobe and color. And I just think color also is part of the happy factor, and it can give you like a charisma glow even if you're having a bad day, putting on some color and some good outfits can also make a huge difference. Because I noticed you had a red dress on when you were doing the modeling, and that is an attraction factor as well.
I love red. It's my favorite color. It gets my attention. It kind of represents who you are as well. You kind of like that little lively fire, bit of danger, but lots of love at the same time. So I think red represents love.
It does, and it attracts men, ladies. For any ladies, no, there's research done on this. This is no joke. I don't know if I mentioned that. They did a study on Tinder, and they had one woman wear a red outfit, and that same woman wore a blue outfit. 100 men picked the red outfit. 100,
wow.
All the 100 men that were not one picked the blue. And then they did a study further on to discover that there's definitely like a primal kind of instinct that men have, because if you think about it, it's the color of menstruation. And so it means fertility. And so men are attracted to that. Isn't that cool? It's kind of like interesting.
Learned something new today. So yeah.
Well, ladies, wear that red.
And I feel like when you are wearing red, oh, when you are wearing, hi, when you are wearing red, I feel like you have to carry yourself differently because you are drawing attention to yourself.
Yes.
So therefore, you have to stand a different way. You're not going to be all slunched over, you know. And I think it makes you feel more confident. So I think it's a win-win both ways.
I think it boosts your energy as well.
It does. It does. And it's a great way for people who are shy and not comfortable being seen to practice being seen. And it could start with a red lip. It could start with a red shoe. But Dr. Jacalyn, what you said is so spot on. I've seen so many clients just like really being more shy and having not the confidence to flirt and have fun and that kind of thing. And when I put them in a red item, they suddenly become different, you know, and there is that costume confidence that just kind of exudes that energy when people are out and about. So I think having good hair, good skin, good clothes, it all works for you.
And then you attract better in your life. There's no point of being in a relationship when you're not happy with yourself. And when you're happy with yourself and you feel great, you're going to attract much better in life. So I think, well, most people, they should really be focusing on is themselves.
So it's in the name of love. You have to start with loving yourself before you can love anyone else. So thank you so much for being here, Bobbi. It's been phenomenal. The time always goes by so fast on these shows. It's amazing because we could just keep going and going.
Yeah.
I do appreciate the fact so much that you stayed up late and you shared so many important, valuable tips with us.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I have so much more to say, but I guess it's
back. We'll definitely
yes.
Back. So as of this week, we have 15 shows. Last week we had 14. Now we have 15 shows. So please do come back and share your story. And I think one of the key takeaways is that you are just radiating love and beauty and kindness, and it's not because you're using a lot of products that have chemicals in them. It's not because you're putting chemicals into your body. It's not because you're staying up all night on Clubhouse. Boundaries, you've drawn the line for the boundaries, and you're living your best life.
Exactly, living my best life. That's all. I'm very, very grateful, so happy and grateful to be on this show. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. One more quick comment from Philip Chan, who's still awake.
He's always awake.
I guess
thank you, Philip.
Hours to go. So, all right. Thank you so much, Bobbi. I hope you have a beautiful night's sleep, and we'll look forward to seeing you again on one of our other shows.
Well, you know she's gonna sleep. That's for sure. Bye, Bobbi.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, she was a brilliant guest. So lovely, so wonderful, and so much to learn from her.
Yeah, and I love that she walks her talk and talks her walk. You know, it really is beautiful. And I loved how she just really like kind of found herself from the outside and inside and really became her own and didn't fall victim to her story.
If you think about it, how many people, maybe even as a result of this pandemic, how many people are in relationships that are toxic, and it takes a toll, and you keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, and you're really unhappy. You don't look well, you don't feel well, but yet you don't look at what is at the root cause of the problem. And then when you figure out what that is, and I might sound like I'm speaking from personal experience, then you realize you have to actually do something. And doing something means you have to leave what it is you know, your comfort zone, and you've got to take a different path. And that takes a lot of courage. And I think what Bobbi had mentioned is, you know, you have to surround yourself with people who want to help you get there. A lot of people might be pulling and talking like, no, we like you over here in this, you know.
Yeah.
So
that is so true. And I think that, and I say this all the time, I mean, no one changes when they're in a state of comfort. Change always comes from discomfort, if you think about it, because it's something that's unfamiliar, that's foreign, that might be a little bit scary. But I always tell people when they feel that, it's probably something that they need to move towards, not away from, because, right, like, I think when you get in that state of complacency for, you know, a long time where you might be in that toxicity, it's hard hard to see outside yourself, right? Like it's hard to see a bird's eye view when you're in the muck. So to break that pattern and do like what I call a pattern disruption and do something different so that you're not in that insanity cycle, that's when the change starts happening. But it is super scary. It does take a leap of faith. And like she said, a mentor, a coach, somebody who's got your back, because it's hard to do that on your own as well.
Working with a coach is great. And we've discussed this before, because if you work with someone who's already been where you are, they can tell you, hey, this is what to expect along the way. And then you come up with a plan for it. So I think making even little changes, I know for myself, the last few weeks, I started to get swollen ankles from sitting so much doing the shows. So now I'm standing. And then when I'm not on camera, I actually have this board that you can use for waist twisting, like you can use it with weights. So I'm doing little changes. And
I love it. I love it. And I'm noticing this really sexy thing you got going on. I'm not going to lie. You are starting to reveal a different side of you that I noticed you do. And you have fabulous skin. You should always show that off. I love it.
Well, thank you. You know, it's interesting, and I should have mentioned this to Bobbi. So I was diagnosed with eczema. I was getting very like patches all over my skin, and I really believed it was a food allergy. And I went to 7 dermatologists, and every one of them said, you have eczema. A patch test, they take the skin, whatever it's called. And so now I'm on something called Dupixent, and I have to inject myself every 2 weeks. And I contacted the doctor's office, and I said, I don't think I have eczema. I think I was allergic to peanut butter, bread, gluten. I just did my own test before the pandemic, and it's gone away. And he said, well, you don't know if it's going to be from that or from the medication. So I'm kind of in that quandary. But I'm sure, to her point, if we'd asked her, we would have said it's definitely food related. And so I'm working on getting off of that pharmaceutical as well.
Wow, good for you. I mean, and that's, I think, another thing that's come out of the pandemic. We've had time to look at our health and things that, you know, we haven't been feeling good about, and even some of the hard stuff, you know, but it's good because I think a lot of times we stay busy so that we don't have to deal with some of that stuff. And the pandemic has really allowed us to slow down and address things we have to, you know, with our health, with our relationships, with so many things, even our business.
Absolutely. Kimmy, before we go, how can people get in touch with you?
Yeah, I mean, go to my site at, KimmySeltzer.com is always the easiest. And you can find me all over social media at Kimmy Seltzer is pretty much my handle everywhere. My podcast, again, is The Charisma Quotient. So you can check me out there. And I have a new Amazon live show that happens each week. But come into my community. I do it kind of each different days of the week. And I have this huge masterclass coming up on how to create chemistry for both men and women May 17th. So if you want to check all that out, just, go to my site, write me, get into my community, and I'd love to help you or see you at some point.
Outstanding. You know what? I see Bobbi is backstage. I'm bringing her back out because, hi again, Bobbi.
Hey.
People can get in touch with you.
Oh, yes. I'm on Facebook, Bobbi Hang, or Instagram, Bobbi Hang 88. That's my Instagram. On YouTube, I do have another channel for the Ninja Mama. As if you have kids, trying to be more efficient, because I know it's hard being a mom. I know it's stressful. I know you're going to lack sleep. So I'm there for the ladies as well.
And are you also on Clubhouse? And do you have a club or a group?
Yeah, so I am Bobbi Hang. I'm very new on Clubhouse. I'm still not sure how it works out. I think it's quite similar to podcasts, really, isn't it? Clubhouse.
It's just an incredible way to meet other people and collaborate. And I mean, I can't believe how many people have been on this platform that I met from Clubhouse. So
yeah, it's great networking. Yeah.
Oh, great. I'll be on it even more then.
I just want to let our audience listening on Business Talk Radio know that Bobbi's name is spelled with an I. So it's BOBBIHANG. So thank you to both of you for being here. I'm just going to close out the show with some announcements for tomorrow. So I look forward to seeing you. Bobbi, you book on another show. Look for your Clubhouse. And Kimmy, I'll see you next week.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Well, the sun has finally set, and I've got my green screen back. So I think that a little part of that I could put on a blooper reel because you can't anticipate what's going to happen with the sun. I want to announce our shows for the rest of the week. So starting tomorrow, Thursday, our first show is at 12:30. This is a great show for any of you out there. If you're a performer, let's say you're a singer, you are a musician, you are a comic, you're a belly dancer, you can do hula hoops, you're an author and you want to read your book, come on to our show. It's your stage. And what that means is out of a 40-minute show, 32 minutes of it, you get to perform. And my co-host is Azadeh, and she's joining us from France. And you can find her all over Clubhouse. Her handle is Azadeh Sings Anywhere, Anytime. And our guest is an international celebrity. Her name is Nina Christopherson. Sorry, Nina Christopherson. She is an incredible performer. We are very lucky to have her. And I want to thank Philip Chan for his help there. Also, we have It's All About Dating. And my co-host is Lisa Matioki. And we get to speak to a lot of matchmakers, dating coaches, relationship coaches. This week, we're meeting with Arlene Washburn, so we look forward to that. And we also have A Better You. A Better You is a presentation platform. It's not for interviews. So if you're a coach, a consultant, or a trusted advisor, we invite you, we welcome you to come and be a presenter. Today, we had Hyatt Ives and Ben Chai. They each presented a 15-minute lesson. And what happens with these lessons is we ask you to, if you're a content creator, to put together a 5-question quiz. We take your lesson and the quiz, and we package them together and put it up on our platform, A Better You platform, in a playlist. So the playlist contains 10 lessons, 10 quizzes, and then the public can go and purchase your lesson. They'll see a little movie trailer of maybe 10 seconds, and then they can decide if they want to purchase that lesson. They take the lesson, they take the quiz. If they pass the quiz, they get a certificate. And while they're on the platform, there's tons of games, lots of gamification. So it's just all around fun. So that's all on Thursday. Friday, we have 6 shows. All of our shows are Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We have 6 shows, and our first show is A Better You. And A Better You, our guest is Philip Sykes. He is with the British School of Etiquette. So he's going to have some great lessons for us on etiquette. At 12 o'clock is fashion, fitness, travel, and leisure. So Bobbi would be great on that show. My co-host is Diane Floyd Bain. We saw her clip. She's an international author. And our guest is Emma Porce. And she's in amazing shape. She's got a fitness company, and she's going to teach us how to work out at home and also how to do workouts with our children. At 1:30, I Have a Story to Tell. This is a program where anyone can come on and share their story. So the whole show is about you and your story. And our guest is an actor and a voiceover artist. Her name is Esther Brzezinski. And then we have pet psychic Amina. And normally Amina has a guest on the show, but this week I'm going to interview her and hear her story. So many people want to know, when did you know you were a psychic? Is this something that you took courses on? What does it mean to be a psychic? So I'm going to speak with her. And then we have at 5 p.m. Eastern time, which is 10 p.m. in British summertime, stories of hope, inspiration, and overcoming adversity. And we're going to be meeting with Kay Reed. And finally, our last show of the week is the variety show with my co-host Lori Mendelson. And our guest is Karen Yuso. And she has a family law practice. I believe they specialize in divorce. So we look forward to having you back tomorrow and Friday. Finally, I have a new book coming out, my first book ever. And I'm looking for my banner. The book is called Behind the Green Screen, How to Succeed in the Live Broadcasting Business. This is my story of how I started this platform with no experience in August of 2020. I left the corporate world last year during the pandemic. I was selling meetings and events for, I think, 18 years. And I went a completely different direction, started out with one show on Zoom, and then hired a producer, started live streaming over StreamYard, and we had one show, and now we have 15 shows. And I am the host, the executive producer, the director, and the broadcast engineer. So everything that you see is yours truly, working 12 to 15 hours every single day, including the weekends, to make all these things happen, because it takes a lot to put these shows together, put them on social media, do all the thumbnails. It's a lot. So the book details how you can do the same thing, and also includes personal stories of how and why I left the corporate world. So look for that. We'll be pre-selling in a couple of weeks, and then the actual launch day of the book is my mother's birthday. It is June 17th. So in honor of my mother, that's when the book will actually be available for purchase. But as I mentioned, we will be pre-selling. So that's all I have for you for now. I'm going to end with a clip from Listening to Smile, frequency-based music, and also music that my friends Ian Morris and Dana Cato, the owners of the company, that they actually produce themselves. So if you are a business owner, if you have a spa, if you have a restaurant, you have a lounge, your doctor's office, and you are playing music to the public, and you're doing it from your own personal subscription to one of these services, you may end up getting fined, because you have to have a commercial license to play music in a public venue, and their music is licensed. So let's take a look, and I will see you tomorrow. Thanks for being here.
The music, services, and programs that we offer at Listening to Smile are based off of scientific studies and research, along with our own personal experiences and testimonials from our clients and our affiliates that we work with worldwide. My own personal journey began in around 2010, and I tried to find relief from a chronic illness that I was diagnosed with. And the traditional ways of healing, they tried to fit me in this box, and that didn't work for me for so many reasons. And this led me to a self-discovery that I never expected to be so life-changing. Healing is multifaceted. It requires us to really look at our whole selves and to get really honest about what we see. I started to see movement towards recovery when I started to integrate yoga into my life daily. When I started to incorporate the music into all aspects of my life, including my yoga practice, my healing completely accelerated. And listening to Smile's music helped me to open my consciousness. I was able to open my eyes to new perspectives and make changes that I needed to make in order to recover. The most noticeable difference that I saw right away, like immediately after listening to my first frequency track, was how much my anxiety stopped, completely stopped. There was such a relief. My mind was actually quiet for the first time in so many years. I felt safe. I felt this comfort and this peace immediately. I continued to listen daily, and I found that amazing things were happening inside of me. I felt calmer, I felt happier, I felt like I was in this little bubble of peace. Physically, I started to see the changes happening. I started to see the things happening in my body that needed to happen for me to heal from my illness. I felt empowered, I felt hopeful, and something that I hadn't felt in years. This is why we at Listening to Smile integrate yoga and Listening to Smile music together. We see such a huge benefit from integrating the music into other modalities of healing. It accelerates these modalities, it steps them up to another level because it works on the brainwave states and the neural pathways in the brain. This is something that is not very easy for us to do alone at home, but the Listening to Smile music makes that possible. This is where real change happens. This is where the body and the mind sync up and work towards health of the being as a whole. That is true health. And Listening to Smile frequency music will get you there.